What's up, everybody? Dale Call from PunchdrunkSports.com, bringing you another episode of This Week in Soccer. This week's biggest story has to be Leicester City destroying Manchester City 3-1 at City Stadium, the Etihad. Now, going into this game, I figured this is probably going to be a pretty close competitive game between two teams that play pretty opposite styles. Leicester, playing away, especially. They always play sort of counter-attacking football, letting the other team sort of dictate the pace of the game and have pretty much have most of the control possession of all game, and usually hit them on the break and hit them on the counter attack. Whereas Manchester City are a team known for playing with possession style of football, attacking through width, but mostly attacking through the center. And pretty much I expected them to dominate possession and have Leicester City attack on the counter attack. That's what happened for the most part of the game. But the biggest thing was just how solid Leicester work as a team. Sure, they have Vardy, they have Mahrez, who are great individuals. They had Robert Huth, who is somehow one of the best defenders on the planet right now, even though not too long ago he was just a bench warmer at Chelsea. But you look at the team, and although they do have a few individuals that stand out, as a team in general, they all work together. They're great at never leaving themselves exposed. The defense is always compact. They do a really great job of covering each other's backs, and that's something that Manchester City do not have. They have great individual players, but they aren't a great team, and that's what makes the difference between them and a team like Barcelona or a team like Bayern Munich when it comes to the European competitions. That's why Manchester City will not compete at the highest stage in the Champions League this year until they can find a group of players that know how to work together as a team, including players with that kind of talent. With the talent levels that they have now, they just don't have the teamwork that you need to win the Champions League. Leicester, on the other hand, they might not win the title, but they are pretty much guaranteed, if not Champions League, which I'm pretty sure they'll get Champions League a year. They're guaranteed a spot in the Europa League, and that's huge for a club like Leicester City. And there was just no competition in the game. They got. Every time they would counter, Manchester City were in danger. Every single time. There wasn't a moment where Manchester City were safe. Every time Leicester had the ball, they created something. They created great chances, and they finished their goals great. Manchester City had some defensive lapses. They know that Leicester would provide danger on set pieces, and they knew that if their fullbacks would go forward, they would leave big spaces for guys like Mahrez, Kante, and Vardy, who have extreme pace, to go in behind them and get a goal. And that's exactly what happened. They conceded on set pieces, and they conceded on Mahrez breaking through. And, it was pretty predictable that that's what Leicester would do, and they still fell for it. They still conceded 3 goals, That's really bad. That's really bad for City, and shocking for Leicester, because I expected it to be a close draw, 2-2, but 3-1 was something I just didn't see. I just didn't see that coming. And at this point, I don't see why Leicester shouldn't be considered, the favorites for winning the title. I can see why, because on paper they're just not that great a team. On paper, they don't have great individuals, which is something that you always need in order to win a Premier League. But seeing them beat Liverpool 2-0, beat City 3-1, they could win the title. Another big game that happened was Manchester United versus Chelsea in London at Stamford Bridge. And going into this game, you had Chelsea, who are undefeated in I think it was 10 games. You had United, who were coming off of 2 big performances where they got 3 goals in each game. And honestly, I thought United would run away with this game. I thought they would manage to get a 2-1, a 3-1 win. But Chelsea defended well. Both teams had 15 to 16 shots. United, I would say they outplayed Chelsea in a pretty big way for the first 75 minutes, but in the last 15, maybe 20 minutes, they left themselves too open. They retreated probably about 10, 20 yards back, and that gave Chelsea a lot more time in the final third. And at the end of the day, when you have players like Diego Costa, Hazard, Oscar, Willian, when you have those kind of players, if you're given time in the box, and Fabregas, who put in a great pass, you're eventually going to score. United made a mistake of giving them that much space, and Chelsea punished them. They got out. It ended in a 1-1 draw. all in all, it was a really good game. It was the best performance for Manchester United. It wasn't of Manchester United season so far. It wasn't a great performance from Chelsea, but they haven't been putting in great performances in general this year. And they're showing fighting spirit. They knew that, sure, they're not really fighting for anything position wise, but they know going against a team that is obviously one of the most recognized clubs in the world. There was a chance for them to show why they were champions last year and show people that they still do have that championship level fighting spirit. And they went out there and they showed it, getting a good draw for them, remaining undefeated in 11 games. Kurt Zouma, basically Chelsea standout center back this season, who I think is 21. He's going to be out for 6 months because he took a hyperextension to the knee, pretty bad injury. The guy was screaming, so there was definitely a lot of pain. And it sucks to see that happen to an athlete, but it happens. He'll be back. Other than that, it was just a good game, a really fun game, really entertaining. A lot of good football, especially on United's side. Hadn't seen that in a long time, other than the past couple games. But this was by far the best performance yet, and against by far the best team. Because Chelsea are in 13th spot, you have to remember that they're still champions. They still have really good players, and they're still a team, especially at home at Stamford Bridge. They're not an easy team to beat, and they're a team to be respected. So overall, it's a pretty big. So that's it for this week in soccer. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, check me out on punchdrunksports.com. Check out other great articles too. Hope you enjoy it once again. Thanks for watching. See you next time.